This is definitely the most fantasy scene. On the night of April 26, it's not quiet over France. More than 2 British Lancaster bombers roared full target directly to the bearing factory in Schweinfurt. 21-year-old Officer Fred Mifflin, just one of the huge flocks. Confident in this mission, but unaware. The target is not already locked in the night sky by German radar. A Bf-110. The bucket machine cleverly followed the chickens with lean up. Oblique suddenly fired. The Lancaster bomber was shot in its. The plane burst into flames in an instant. The wreckage cuts through the night sky as Mifflin sits, can only watching his companion fall, and there's no knowing that once hit, also disappear into the night. As the target approaches, Mifflin ordered through the in-flight communication, "Get ready, coming closed." Flight engineer Division Norman Jackson immediately got up, hand out of the but the road ahead is paved with anti-aircraft. The bomber shook violently in the hard approaching German factory. A shell hits the wing impartially. The fuselage, but it just didn't hit the key at the same time. Mifflin is still calm. "Don't worry boys, I've still got her on the control." 60 seconds soon. Flares fall. Target exposed to fire. Then the bombardier is firmly on. Press the button. Just seconds later, the bomb went off at the factory. Pillars of fire. Aftermath shakes the plane, trembling neck. Airplane emergency. Turn around. The mission seems to be done easily. Only to, however, due to damage to the fuel, they can only be far behind his companions, but unfortunate. The real nightmare is just beginning. A pair of German fighter jets. They are officially F-19, nicknamed the Butch. Combat effectiveness, especially good at hunting bombers. The most worrying thing is Lancaster was unfortunately killed. 90 nails are almost doomed. Although Lancaster bombers are equipped with, but he only works on defense under the fuselage. W in the sky. 90 is invisible. German pilot just by moonlight, then gently tilt the nose forward. The figure of the bomb easily into range of until it approaches within 5. Pilot pulls the trigger. Full firepower in it. The roar of cannons and machine guns is luminous, but like fire snake shot at the tail. 20mm shells go straight. Tail gunner Norman Johnston tragically and FW-90 borrow better speed than a bomber. Past the fuselage, even if the top turret fights back, didn't hurt the Germans at all. Even passed in front of the bomber's eyelids. Leave the fight with arrogance. Disappear into the dark house. It's not quitting, but for the next, the fatal blow accumulates. Shortly, 90 really appeared again. While approaching rapidly, fire at the fuselage. Instantly penetrate the body and hit the right. Mifflin knew there was no tail gunner. They're almost living targets if they want to. The only hope can only dive and turn the bomber. Serpentine in the air. Try to lose the enemy, but they seem to have underestimated the German. With superior agility and speed bite the bomber tightly. The firepower is in an instant. A shell exploded next to the cockpit. Shrapnel hit engineer Jackson, and just when he was in excruciating, suddenly found a fire next to the wing engine. Flames gushing out of bullet holes. The situation is once the flames last too long, not only will even the fuel tank explode. The ending is unimaginable at FW. Disappear in the dark again, and when Jackson has a crazy plan. "I want to climb directly outside the." Although the crowd was shocked, but this is a last resort. Tried Jackson. He endured the pain and walked to the. When the hatch opens, the cold wind immediately hit the face with the sound filled. Mifflin slows down as much as possible, still going up to 180 miles. At one point, the height exceeded 80. Chico Jackson is not afraid. Body into the biting cold wind. The wind beat him violently. Head bombers and navigators use parachute. Hold him tightly, slightly careless. Jackson will be shattered. He climbed up the wing with just an escape act. Crawling on the skin of an airplane. Desperately moved towards the fire source. His upper kidney speed limp, but instead stimulated his. Almost at the same time, the crew was equally nervous. Slowly relaxed the parachute for fear of an accident. The flames. Instead, it lit his way at a critic. Finally close to the. Jackson pulls out fire extinguisher. Steady aim at the fire. The interior of the memory was sudden. Fortunately, the flame begins to. The fire extinguisher. Despite the heat burning his hands, but he persevered. Until the flame is. It finally worked. He couldn't believe it. I can go home. Met relatives just a few hours ago. He just learned. Wife gave birth to a son, however. At this time, Fw, the 190 fighter jet turned back. Bullets like sweet bombers not only hit Jackson and the right shoulder, and the fuel tank is also shot. The fire is burning again, and it's Jackson drops wing, body swaying in the air. Comrades agree. Only relax the umbrella rope and let him to have a chance. At this moment, in the hazy night, fire on ball Lancaster bomber plane makes a sound. Keep shaking violently and fell at high speed. Mifflin grabbed the joystick. Do your best to keep the plane flying, but the plane has been hit. There is no way to get back. France pulls Lancaster bomber to safe altitude, urging skydive as crew one by one. One jumps into. At night, they fall freely until the parachute but tail gunner Johnson's injury, it can't stand skydiving. Forced to stay on the plane, however, Mifflin wasn't going to give up. They are comrades. He is also a close friend, so he resolute. Norman, I'm landing the plane, you hear me? Hear you, man. I'm here, and we got to crash. Yeah, you hear me? Okay. But unfortunately, the forced landing ultimately failed, and but incredibly, Engineer Jackson is still alive. The fire broke the ropes of his parachute. He fell fast, until he fell hard to the ground despite buffer his falling speed, but the impact is still broken his ankles. In addition, his legs are covered with wounds, and a bullet in the shoulder. Once not treated, I won't survive. He dimly saw a farmhouse climb over with the only strength. Soon after, he was captured and sent to a German there is designed for large hospital for military. Lucky Jackson eventually fully after with the surviving comrades have been until Jackson was released in can finally go home to see his son the same. For his performance on this mission, Younger was awarded the Victoria. Finally in 1994, died peacefully on March 26.